It's game time. The kid Oweh. Ravens Nation. All we know is purple and black. And if you're not a Ravens fan, welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, where opponents don't make it out alive unless we bury them. Every team be afraid of them, especially all the quarterbacks, cause our defensive linemen won't hesitate to leave you sacked. Let's take a minute, go back to Super Bowl 35. Domination was an understatement up against the Giants. Numerous touchdowns, they put up numbers, and it didn't take a nutritionist to see they hunger. Only stat Kerry Collins could get was interceptions. He must have thought throwing to the D counted as receptions. The pass was legendary, but don't sleep on the present. Our secondary make quarterbacks avoid that direction. You tryna run the ball, you better hope your blockers work. You can juke, you can spin, but your destination's the turf. This is a man's game, being soft will get you hurt. Watch the defense force a fumble and the fans go berserk. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go! They always win when the championship's on the line. So if you hoping that they failed, then you really wasting your time. Go and ask the 49ers, I'm pretty sure they remember when they made a comeback, but weren't declared the winners. 2 rings down, but you know they won't stop now. If the opposing D's caught slipping, you know exactly how that goes. That's another deep connection for 6 points in the end zone. The stadium goes wacko as Ravens put in work. Pittsburgh Steelers, that still curtain is looking more like a skirt. So tell me who they say is gonna beat them Bengals. Who used to be the Browns until they relocated? Ravens, they are one of the greatest. There's simply no denying it. To beat them, bringing your A game's a requirement. With the youth of the team, I bet they still be dominant, even after the greatest linebacker's retirement. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go!
Yo, what's up? It's Sunny here with another video. Yes, I did a haircut. Yes, I took it down. That's why I'm not using a hat today, because I'm like, F that. After what, almost 4 months? No, more than 4 months without a haircut. Yeah, man. My hobo look is out. We with the new haircut. And you know what? It's cold. Shout out to everybody that is tuning in. Crystal, Andrew, Devin. I saw Terrence. In Raven checked in 8 hours ago. And before I start with Jason O, and then we can go with my guest that is they're currently waiting very patiently. Shout out to them. Yeah, I made a mistake. I hit my intro, and I was like, why is it not coming on YouTube? Oh, if I hit go live, right? That usually helps. Also, I'm doing Jason O. I tried this video 3 times, and 3 times my video got corrupted on Thursday. And I finally said, F this shit. I'm not going to do this anymore. And so I left it for today. So that's why we're getting Jason O today. And last but not least, Second day of the draft will be here, SCG Sports channel. And Raven said he's gonna be coming in and out on that day. Nuvo will be here. Tony Serino from the Steelers will be here. A couple others are probably gonna be here. I might be taking calls during the live stream on the draft, so should be fun. So mark that day. Make sure you join us. Okay, let's do Jason O so we can go ahead and get out with our lives. Jason O, my guy, 6'5", 257, good size. A big donut, sacks, 0 sacks, 38 tackles. Got a good game against Ohio State. Ohio State was ranked number 3. He has 6 tackles overall. In 2019, so that was 2019, against Memphis, 2 tackles, 1 sack. Against Ohio State, 3 tackles. Minnesota, 2 tackles. Michigan, 1 tackle. None of these games against power teams, he had any sacks. Okay. Shout out to Alexander Rico. Thank you for joining the live stream. Jonathan, thank you, man. I needed it. Devin, appreciate that. Okay, so this is what I see from Jason O. Great size, super athletic. So those are good traits to have, right? Wins with hustle. And it's so weird because I know I said this like 4 or 5 times already because of I recorded this video. I didn't see any flexibility. Remember, when I talk about flexibility, especially when he comes at that edge, where's that bending? Can he go low as he's rushing the pass, right? We have nobody that can do that right now in the Ravens, but this dude cannot either. So he's great at cleaning up. So I saw a couple. It's very similar to others. The rest of the O-line were broken the rush, and then he had as the quarterback's moving, he happens now. He doesn't quit on the plays. He's looking at the quarterback, and then he makes the sack. Okay, but that's not what I want. At least great hand placement, cross chop. Right, he has when the lineman engages with him, he chops, right. He does the swing off, and then he can go. I saw a couple of times that, and I like that. But he does let the O-line get to his chest too much, too easy for me. He was like, boom, and now he's locked. Now, he was doing against amateur, right? College players, not Pro Bowl or NFL caliber O-line. So that's important to note. Needs more moves. Barely see any moves with this dude. Remember, we have a guy that came basically with 1 move, and he hasn't progressed that much. He fits well the outside linebacker because he's very athletic. Before that I have here, does a good job on battering the ball. And then I said he fits the O-linebacker position, doesn't have to have hand in the dirt to be effective. So what I mean about that is, when I remember I evaluated Ferguson, I used to, in the journalist channel, I told you guys like, well, Ferguson is not an outside linebacker. I think he's a D lineman position. And I think Ferguson might have been better if somebody that was more of a 4-3 put him in a DM position in a 4-3. For us, he's an outside backer. You're asking him too much. He ain't ready. He hasn't been ready. And in a 3-4 DN, he doesn't fit that mold well, and he hasn't been able to. So this dude can play outside linebacker. He's a poor man's Bowser. Bowser came, in my opinion, more polished. But this edge class is so bad that this dude is considered a first-round pick. In my opinion, he's a 2nd/3rd round pick. I will not draft him in the 1st. I will be pissed if the Ravens draft him. But before we keep going, let's do 2 shout-outs. First, to my guy, very comfy, very relaxed here, Mr. David, the sports man. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on? This is David, the sports and gamer nerd. Just chilling this afternoon, guys. Great to be here, and just ready to talk some Ravens.
Yeah. And coming from, I think this is the 4th time maybe in the channel, maybe 5th. I'm not sure, but my guy, Mr. Sutton there.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Sutton Def from the Purple Rain podcast. Big shout out to Sonny from SCG Sports for having me on again. I always love coming on your channel, man. So big shout out to you. Thank you, man.
Hey, man, we go way back. Shout out to you. I love both of these channels. You can go down below. Both channels are there. Purple's doing great. Doing really
Yes,
good.
sir. Yes, sir. The juice is
That's
selling.
awesome.
I'm
Thank
happy.
you.
I'm very happy for what I'm seeing. I'm always here. Yo, guys, I know I say this all the time. Paper on the Ravens YouTube community is a community. We have a separate channel,
Yes.
and we help each other. So I'm very pleased. And I don't know, guys, if you haven't noticing, every Monday I'm trying to bring some of the YouTubers from the other channels. Instead of having a big collab, that way you can hear what their thoughts from everybody at the same time. Anyway, so let's go into it because news comes out last night as I'm sleeping. Obviously, I'm way ahead of you guys in hours. So Jadavion Clowney is supposed to sign with the Browns, right? And I wake up, I see this shit, and I'm like, oh, fuck, why? And the reason why is because the last 2 years, Jadavion Clowney, he doesn't have the numbers. But though, and the problem with Clowney is definitely he gets hurt too much. But as soon as he left those teams because he got hurt, those teams literally had no pass rush. Think about the Seattle game that we played. The only pass rush that you're seeing is always coming from Clowney. And Tennessee, as soon as Clowney left, they couldn't even pressure. They couldn't get near a quarterback at all. So now if he goes to Cleveland, he's next to arguably the best edge defender in the whole league in Myles Garrett. That is a problem for the Ravens, especially if they lose Orlando Brown Jr. Now, what do you guys think? David, I'm gonna throw to you first. What do you think about, Clowney, the possibility of Clowney going to the Browns?
So the update that I saw, he's scheduled to visit Wednesday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working on a contract. So he's not there yet officially, but I think, for us, our strength is running the ball, right? So if any team can minimize sort of that dual threat pass rush, it's going to be us, right? It's going to be a team, that can run the ball. Yeah, he's good against the run, but I just meant as far as like the pass rush piece of it. He's good against the run, but he's good against traditional run, right? Like he hasn't faced consistently a quarterback that can run as well. It just adds a different element, I think. So I'm not saying like we're going to be able to neutralize him completely, but if anybody can slow him down, it's a situation where the quarterback runs as well. Because I think, that's a different element than just like a traditional run game where you just stop in your running back. And the running back, because the running back, when they're running, they come from the center of the offense, so to speak. And then they go and then they take their angle. With Lamar Jackson, he can run from anywhere. He can start his run from anywhere. And so it can create a different
dynamic. Okay.
Yeah.
Sutton, what do you think, man?
I mean, those are a lot of good points brought up by David. Jadavion Clowney, he is not as consistent. He doesn't really live up to the hype or the name Jadavion Clowney, especially not like these days. But like you said, to your point, Sonny, when he leaves teams, their pass rush it goes to shit. It just does. But I don't know if that's more so just those teams aren't properly filling those holes or what it is. But Jadavion Clowney, at the end of the day, he is a good football player. Yes. But I do think that his strength is run stopping. Also, I mean, he can drop back a little bit, but he's not like, anything special, I would say, like in pass coverage or anything like that.
No, he's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him do it like a couple times, but just not anything special at all. But with Jadavion Clowney as well, playing against like an offense like a Lamar Jackson led offense where the runs are so complex, like David said, he's not playing up against like a traditional, like inside zone. Let's go to the outside this play. He's playing against a lot of tricky schemes, that are drawn up by ours truly, Greg Roman, of course. But at the end of the day, I just don't really see him being too much of an impact player against the Ravens. He does set the edge really well, but I feel like with all of our misdirection and things like that, he could probably be a non-factor in some cases. So, I mean, I like it for the Browns. You know, they get a name. That's cool, whatever. And he'll make a couple good plays. He will make a couple good plays, impactful plays too, I'm sure. But I just don't think that'll be anything worth noting or anything like that. He won't be swinging the pendulum.
Yeah, so this is the thing. This is my problem with the signing. Or if he signs. It's not only Clowney. The Browns, offensively, they were really good last year, right? They were moving the ball. They were running the ball very effectively. They had the weapons in the passing game, right? Defense is where they were struggling. Miles Garrett gets double teamed every play, sometimes gets triple teamed. Clowney hasn't had that effect in a while, right? Meaning usually he is the best rusher, even if he hasn't been great. I agree with what Sutton said. He has not lived at all to the name of Jadeveon Clowney, first overall pick that hit against Michigan that he put in college. But saying that, Clowney makes now the ability to have two edge rushes. And remember, the other thing that Cleveland did was they added a slot corner on Hill, and they added a safety and John Johnson, right? So they have upgraded their defense. And if we go with what you guys saying, basically we stay with the same offense, which rumor is we're gonna try to deviate from that a little bit, then yes, you can neutralize that. But one of the things he does do is he has discipline in that side of the field when he rushes. And usually how Lamar burns that edges is because undisciplined outside linebacker. So again, my problem is Cleveland's not only bringing Jadeveon Clowney and an island there, it's a problematic, but yeah, not now. We went from Pittsburgh. We had the problem that Pittsburgh had two really good rushers coming at you. Cleveland had an excellent one rusher, so you can mitigate when it's just one. And Bengals don't have shit. So two, Cleveland having one spectacular, one good rusher. They're both really good against the run. Now, the point of attack with Cleveland is that middle, right? Because that D lineman's inside. Chill Richardson is okay in the linebacking court, but now there's a draft coming. They can go out and get the linebacker from Penn State that I can't remember his last name at this moment. So that is the problem. And I feel like, and with this, we're going to also transition to Houston. I feel like the Ravens have been sitting back there. It's like, well, we're here. We're going to wait until the comp picks are not affected. And I'm like, dude, why? Why? We know our biggest hole. It's edge rushers by a mile. I've been going every effing week trying to find an edge rusher that is worth a first-round pick. I cannot find it. I'm just baffled. It's the first time that I've done, evaluations on prospect that I haven't been able to say that dude looks like a first rounder. Have not seen one that I think is ready to be a day one starter. How the Ravens defense is right now, who if you draft an edge rusher day one, that guy needs to be a starter because we're dry. We are dry. So I said last week, I think the week before, that we need to get three, not one, not two, three of these guys. Just get them all. Because all we have is two with Bowser and Ferguson. Who knows what Ferguson is? In my opinion, Per McPhee works better in the inside or catching the outside. But if Houston, I'm okay with Houston. I would have brought Clowney and Ingram. But it looks right now that, I don't think Cleveland will let him leave the building. Well, what do you guys think? Oh, and Kerrigan. So you give me three of those four. I don't even need Clowney. Just give me three of the other four. But what do you guys think?
You want to go first, Sutton?
No, you got it, bro.
Okay. So here's what I think. I'll quote Ozzie Newsome. Well, he always said it for years. We don't have to line up until September. Okay? We don't have to line up with our roster until September. Or maybe late August. I don't know how they're doing the 17-game thing with the fourth preseason game. But as far as I know, we don't have to line up until September. So let's relax. Let's let them work it out because, Eric DeCosta's been there for what, 20 years almost, 20 plus years. Like, it's not their first rodeo. They know what to do, especially on defense. I have full confidence in them to build a defense every single year. If I don't have confidence for them to do anything else, I have confidence for them to build the defense. Now, with the pass rushers that's available, they know things that we don't know. They know what the market looks like. Eric DeCosta is actually quite talented at kind of predicting the draft, at least the early part, and kind of like guessing who's going to fall to us. So they have a plan, believe me. Justin Houston coming in, he's probably going to sign. They might not wait for that compensatory pick situation because they know their situation. At least get one of those guys now and then wait for the second one, right? Till it doesn't affect the formula. But I have full confidence in them to build this defense out. I think they have a plan scheme-wise. I don't think it was a big deal. The guys that walked away, especially Matthew Judon, I don't think that we saw what he was, right? He was the average pass rusher. And look at Justin Houston's numbers. He's been better than Matthew Judon for the past few years. So instead of paying like whatever the Patriots paid for that production, I'd rather get whatever we could potentially get for Justin Houston. It's a better sign. Just like the economical sign of what's the receiver we just signed, Sammy Watkins, compared to Willie Snead. You're getting similar production, a little bit better production actually, for not that much money. No long-term commitment. So like, it's not about the name. It's about the stats and the ability and the money, right? So we're looking at numbers, and numbers. Look at the money and look at the production and look at what you would have paid for, if you kept your younger guy, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm arguing here. We should have kept either Judon or Yannick because I think they were paid what somebody thought they were worth, and with us, Judon was better than Yannick with us, but Judon was not the end all be all. All these guys are going to be cheaper. They have been sitting here.
Here's what you're not mentioning. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sutton, but what's the complement to a pass rush? Coverage. We got great corners. We got great secondary. If we can cover those guys long enough, our pass rush will get there. And we got great secondary. That's the part that people don't talk about a lot, is the fact that if we can cover long enough, you and I could get to the quarterback if you could cover long enough. I did the cover probably like an hour, but we could get there. You know what I mean? So that's the way defenses work. It's not just one-sided. We got great corners. We got great secondary that complements that allows us to not pay as much for pass rush as somebody else would.
See, I agree with that, but my only issue with that is that you want to have, I guess you could say, you don't want to put that type of pressure on your secondary. Like I heard somebody say one time, coverage sacks are cool because they're sacks, but they're not necessarily what you want. You know what I mean? You want you want to win in the trenches and you want to get home. There was a lot of almost getting a sack, quarterback hurries and things like that we had last year, but we didn't really have a closer. So I think we should definitely bring in somebody like a Justin Houston. I'm a big fan of bringing in a Justin Houston for sure. He had 8 sacks last season. I know he's out of his prime, but hey man, listen, at this point, the Ravens, they know how to bring in somebody who's past their prime and kind of rejuvenate their career for at least maybe a year or two. So I think bringing in a Justin Houston, it would definitely re-energize just him himself. He's saying, hey, look, I get to go and play for a Super Bowl contending team. You know, he's still got some left in the tank. He said that himself. I just think it would be the right move. It'd be the right move. You get a veteran on that one side. And then I know, Sonny, like you were saying, there's not a whole lot of edge rushers that you like, particularly in this draft. But there are some guys, there are some prospects that I feel like if you bring them into the Ravens organization, they can mold them into something that is very valuable, a very valuable asset for this team, or for this defense, rather. But yeah, I'm just of the school of thought that bringing in a guy like Justin Houston, a nice veteran on one side of the pass rush, and then, you know, just draft a younger guy, let him develop. He's cheap. And I think we can get a steal because, like you said, Sonny, there's not a whole lot of really, really, really good pass rushers, but it is a deep pass rusher class. And some of those guys could outperform their value right now.
Yeah, so I agree with it is deep. The problem is if people are overdrafting, then it's going to start thinning out. Now, Davis' point, look, our secondary is spectacular, right? We are deep in corners. Our safeties are good. They're not great, but they're pretty good. But the problem is this league is set up that the corners already get pressure. You can't hold. It's a holding penalty. That kills your drive, right? 3rd and long, a holding penalty, even if it is away, boom, 5 yards is first down. With PI calls, boom. There's not that many calls like that in the pass rushing side, right? So depending on your corners too, this is why we have to blitz 50-something%, right? We blitz more than any team because our outside rushers don't get there, which puts more pressure in your corner. So think about if your corners actually have a pass rushing, now your defense gets elevated. And what I understand the money aspect, but I'm going back to the point that these guys right now, they're not expensive. They're there for a reason. I never advocated for Bud Dupree because I knew he was outside our age, or Judon, or Yannick. But Justin Houston, yes. Kerrigan, yes. Ingram, of course. And Clowney, right? Either of those, I'm fine with. The purpose is right now we don't have many. And a position that we need more, right? Even on depth, we don't have much. We need more. And we need guys that can elevate if we draft one, right? At this point, Bowser, he is what he is. He progressed a little bit more, sure. But in 4 years, his progression is pretty much where he is. Excellent in coverage, lacks pass rushing skills. But what else you have? Now, if you bring Justin Houston, let's say you bring Justin Houston and a guy like Kerrigan, 3rd and long, you put Houston, Kerrigan on the outside, you have Calais Campbell, and you have Wolf and Big Baby to basically suck that middle of the D-line, plus all your corners. That is awesome. That is what you want. Now your corners, your corners don't have to necessarily now play press. If they know the rushers are getting there, they can play a little bit more relaxed. And now you might see interceptions. Because one thing the Ravens do a lot is what? Fumbles, right? We punch that ball out. What that the Ravens don't do as much is interceptions. And the reason is because those corners, for the most part, have to play press. And when you're playing press, you can't be just watching the quarterback. You're reacting with your receiver.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, they need to go. They need to get it. And, and Andrew, Marabuki and others, right? That is your depth. I'm just saying in that scenario. But anyway, I think the Ravens need to push for. Okay, guys. One of the things we're gonna do here, if anybody wants to call the channel today, you're gonna text 443-292-2337. We're gonna do a mock draft real quick here with Sutton and David, and after that, if anybody wants to call, I'm gonna open the lines, and then we can with text. I'll ban you if you call me. Just text. Remember, I don't have no producer here. I'm producing as I go. Okay. Look at that beautiful draft. We're gonna do a 3-round mock. Have you done any Sutton in the show?
I have not done any mock drafts so far. I have not.
David, have you done any? Or are you not that big in the draft?
No, I'm huge in the draft. I just haven't this year, for whatever reason, beyond like receiver, I haven't really dug deep.
Okay. Well, we'll do it in here. We're doing a 3-round mock, and the picks are between you two. Because I like I did with the BSers last week. I like to give you guys first tips. Okay? So there's trades, and you will see them calling you, and they're being annoying, and you can pick or not pick the trade, okay? Fair?
All right.
Let's start this thing. You can. The chat will help you. Yeah, the chat likes to be opinionated. So, man, I would love. We'll see what happens also with the Orlando Brown situation.
Trey Lance still on the board. Mac Jones still on the board.
I think Mac Jones is gonna slip. One of these are gonna slip. I don't think Trey Lance. I think Mac Jones will slip. You see, people call you to trade.
Trade offer.
So Denver gives you a second, a fourth, and a fifth. You have Jacksonville here giving you a second and a fourth. And San Francisco giving you a second, a third, and a fifth. Any of those trades, are you interested?
I think we should pick. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on who's still available.
See, this is the only problem with the Draft Network. If I close this, you're passing on this trade.
Oh, you pass on it. Okay.
And they're stupid like that. They should fix that.
Shoot.
You go
That
2,
makes it a
3,
little
and
bit
5th.
difficult.
Yeah, I know.
2, 3, 5.
2, 3, 5. 2, 4, 5. Well, I guess this is the best offer here.
Yeah, that's the best offer. Just it really depends who's on the board. If I was going to pick an offer, of course it would be that third one right there for sure.
Yeah.
No, you tell me. You want me to take it, or you want me to? Let me see if the chat.
Hey, what does the chat say?
The chat. Do you think they should take this trade, or they should pick? By the way, wait, that red, white, and do. Shout out to you. What I think about Tavon Austin? Tavon Austin is a guy that you bring if you need a returner. That's it. There's no other value here for Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin has been underwhelming as a receiver. They say stay put and no for taking the offer. So you want to decline then, right?
All right, yeah, we'll decline.
Okay.
Okay. So here you go. Any positions do you would like to see first?
For some reason, I can't see it. It's really small.
Okay. Hold on.
Can you maybe
yeah.
if you flip your phone sideways, it might make it bigger?
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't.
No.
Okay. So I made it a little bit bigger there. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
So wide receivers, you guys said. There's Tooney and Marshall and Moore. If you look for edge rushers, you got Jason Oweh, which is the guy that I was talking about today. Joe Tyron and Ronnie Perkins is top 3. Linemen, if you want to know linemen, you have Creed Humphrey there. Tackle, Samuel Cosme, they do from Notre Dame, Asienberg. Okay.
Yeah.
So any of these guys?
I think for me, I'm going with Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU, man. I know we need edge. I know it's a huge need, but I think by this point, by the draft, we'll probably have already signed Justin Houston or Melvin Ingram or whoever, Kerrigan, whoever. And I think that we would definitely benefit by getting one of those LSU tight ends, big name tight ends who can come in and make an immediate difference, make an immediate impact, go up and get those contested catches, draw up plays for him to get open. You know what I mean? Like feature him in the offense. He's another cheap weapon for Lamar. And he played really well at LSU. I think he had like 10 touchdowns last season. A lot of those touchdowns were high difficulty NFL level grabs. So I'm going Terrace Marshall for my money.
Are you concurring with that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for Rashad Bateman, obviously.
He's gone. He's my favorite.
Yeah, right. And we need an outside guy. We need an outside guy. We need a big outside guy, which we really. I mean, we got Boykin on paper, but we really haven't had that since like Bolden, I would say, who actually played more slot than anything. But we need an outside guy. Go ahead.
Marshall,
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can stop this before our next pick. That way you can see the board. Now, Sutton, I will say this. I don't care if we haven't drafted anybody. I think I might lose my shit if we draft an outside backer in the first round. Because
Really?
I haven't seen a guy that is worth a first round pick yet. I haven't done everybody. Calm down. Haven't done everybody. But still, it's not looking good. Okay.
Who?
So
Okay.
I stopped it just before, just in case we get the trade call. This is the big board. Hold on. That's annoying. Okay. You have interior lineman from Ohio State. You have the edge, Ronnie Perkins, Amari Rogers, wide receiver from Clemson, Rousseau, edge rusher, late second, not a bad place to pick him. Joseph Osai, not a bad place either, in the late second. Jalen Mayfield, pretty good tackle, especially if you don't have Orlando Brown Jr. But at this point, we'll have to assume that we have Orlando Brown Jr. because, and if we don't, you think you get a first round pick and then you can get that replacement.
Right.
Anyway, what position are you leaning? And I can look.
I'm probably leaning edge. What about you, David?
Yeah, I think so for the second round.
Yeah.
Somebody we can develop. I mean, we haven't had a lot of luck with second round picks in general. I mean, you can count them on one hand, I think. But I think edge.
Yeah, like Gregory Rousseau. What have you seen anything on Ronnie Perkins? I really haven't done a whole lot of research on him.
I haven't scattered Perkins. I scattered Rousseau. Rousseau is raw. He is a boomer bust guy. He can be a guy that does shit in this league or can be surprisingly good, but he needs time. And I think, I mean, like what I saw in college, he looked to me that he was better rushing from the inside than the outside. I mean, that's also how Cedarius Smith was. He needs to put some LBs, though, because he's huge, but he's thin. He needs to put LBs.
Yeah.
But again, he can redshirt this year. If we sign a bunch of these older guys, he can redshirt this year and just learn. Definitely.
Right. I'm probably leaning towards Gregory Rousseau or Carlos Basham Jr. I'm really high on Carlos Boogie Basham out of Wake Forest. He has amazing closing ability. That's what I really like about him the most. He is a little bit more of a raw talent as well, and he does need to put on some weight. That's for sure. He does lose positioning battles one-on-one with guys all too often. It seems like all too often in college he did, but puts on some weight, within that Ravens franchise. I think they can definitely make him into a star, but I'll probably go with Rousseau, though, just for where we're at.
And give me a motor guy, right? So, like, you can teach technique. You can't teach speed and motor.
Okay, so that wasn't our draft. Okay, so we don't have no trade calls. So you're going with Basham?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going with Basham.
Basham out of Wake Forest. Let me see here the draft. So some people have Basham there. I haven't done my scout on Basham, so I will have to go in. And by the way, guys, I want you to grade this. Give my guys Son and David their grade.
Remember we did this last year, man. It was so much fun, and we yeah. I remember. I'll never forget. I picked Chase Claypool, and you didn't want me to.
Oh,
I know. In the first round, was it in the first round? Because I hated Claypool in the first round.
I think it might have been the second round.
He proved me wrong. Now, here is a trade that the Ravens are trying to make to go up. The problem is, I don't know who's out there, but they're trying to go up almost 20 picks. You want to do this to see?
It's
I mean,
our last pick, right?
Yeah, this is our last pick. No matter what, if you stay put or not.
All right, let's do it.
yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
So, is all edges. Hold on. And there you go. You get interior D lineman from Ohio State. You have wide receiver, super speed guy. I think he's 5 feet flat now. He's like 5'6", I think, or 5'7".
No more
5'9".
slot. No more slot, guys.
Yeah.
You get Amon St. Brown. He's a taller dude. Tackle Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa. Quincy Roach, another edge. Any position that you're leaning?
probably leaning tackle.
Tackle?
I'm looking at Spencer Brown down there. I mean, I haven't done my research on Spencer Brown, but I think if the Ravens were in this spot, they would definitely be looking at somebody to bolster down, especially that right tackle position for sure, because that's a position of question, absolutely. So I would probably go with Spencer Brown.
Sounds good to me. I agree.
Spencer Brown. Okay, and then guys, there you go. You can rate here David and Sutton's draft. We get Terrence Marshall, wide receiver, LSU, Carlos Basham, Wake Forest edge rusher, and Spencer Brown, tackle, Northern Iowa. Look, I mean, all these positions are good. I can vouch for Basham because I haven't scouted him. I have no problem, guys, with getting edge in the second round. It's just none of these guys are first round picks. I'm just baffled every time I look up a mock, and I'm like, why these edge rushers? Again, not done all of them, but Oweh, the guy from Penn State that I just did today, Rousseau, I seen the first round pick. None of these guys, in my opinion, are first round picks.
You're not a fan of Ojulari?
Ojulari's not. I mean, because in Raven was like, "Oh, Sonny, you need to go check Ojulari." I said, "Okay, man, I'll be there. I'll do that." So I went and checked him, and he's raw. He is very raw. He is one of those guys, again, like Rousseau, that you're like, okay, I can see that he can be good, but is he ready? I want my first round pick to be ready, man. See, in the second round, so this is how I feel from draft pick. First round pick, you have to be a starter or push that starter during the year.
Plug and play.
Yeah. Second round pick, you don't have to be a starter, but you have to be part of the rotation. Third round pick, make the team and be very minimal rotation guy. But in the second year, that's when you have to be essentially what the second round pick was. In the second round pick, you have to push to be a starter, right? And then fourth and over, whatever I get from you, it's a bonus. That's how I see my draft picks. And Ojulari, he ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna be ready in the first round or for day one, or I don't think he would be ready in the first year. A guy that basically had no sacks in college in the last year. Nah, man, I'm not ready. And then when you see the tape, it's not like he was barely missing or he's doing anything special and teams are double teaming him and that's why they're taking him out. Nah, man. I'm sorry. I know people get infuriated with me and my takes on the outside this year. Again, I basically have shifted just to do edge rusher, just trying to find that guy that if he slits, you're like, that's the guy that we need to get. I haven't. Okay, so let's take some. Are you guys staying for the callers?
Oh, yeah, I can stay. For a caller.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. You were gonna say something, David?
Yeah. So like, it's not a bad idea, and we've done it in the past. One thing we're not talking about, and I think we take it for granted, is our tight ends and our running backs. I don't think our depth behind our starters for those positions, especially tight end, is all that like wonderful. I think we need, like a Zach Ertz type trade, or like, maybe pick somebody up in the mid rounds that can maybe do some things in the red zone or something. Even our running back situation, I think once we get beyond Gus as a number 2, I don't think it's, I think we kind of take that stuff for granted a little bit, is all I'm saying. I think, if wide receivers picked over this, the second round or edge rusher or whatever, if a position's picked over, give me the third best running back. Don't give me the, 30th best pass rusher. I'd still rather take a strength and make it stronger than just take a guy because it's a position of need. So I would say, like, let's not because, like, if we're injury away, right, they're like a starter for a tight end, Mark Andrews or J.K. Dobbins get injured for the year, knock on wood. Then what?
Well, in
Right.
tight end, we're screwed. Let me say this. In tight end, I completely agree with you. I said this that we cannot go to camp with 2 tight ends. You cannot. I don't want to see Pat Ricard sliding in a tight end because I might just run to the field and just slide him down the fullback. He ain't about that life. You need those
Right.
2, meaning Boyle and Mark Andrews, and you need another guy. I like Pat Fairmouth. I think is how you pronounce his name from Penn State. Other than him, I haven't. I mean, obviously Kyle Pitt, but he's a dream.
Ooh, check out Brevin Jordan out of Miami.
Yeah, the people have been hyping Jordan. I haven't done my scout because again, I'm hyper focused right now in the edge rushers. But I agree with you on the tight ends. On the running backs, you had 2 really good ones that, in my opinion,
What
could be a
happens
starter.
if J.K. Dobbins breaks his leg in game 1?
But that's what I was gonna say. You had Gus Edwards that I think he can be a bell carrier. But not only that,
Oh yeah.
there's guys out there that you can bring. I mean, Gio Bernard's out there. I will take Gio Bernard because I don't like Justin Hill. I'm out of the Justin Hill. You can trade him tomorrow. You can cut him. I don't care.
I agree.
The
I
special
had
teams
seen-
though.
He does well in the special thing. Is the only reason he's gonna stay because you let Chris Moore go. But my point is, I don't need to see him in the running back position. Every time I see him in the game, in the actual game, not in the special team with Lamar, I know that play is going nowhere. Even if the play doesn't go to him, he's jinxed. That play is jinxed. As soon as you see Mr. Hill there and 3rd down, we're punting and taking that field goal.
That's
always
all
happens.
happening. Let's just not take our strengths for granted because the injury can blow that whole situation up.
Can turn a strength into a weakness real quick.
Yeah.
Well, the tight end, they were stupid. They were stupid last year how they had it. Gio Bernard signed 20 minutes before the stream. Anyway, but the running backs, they're a bunch, right? It's usually easier to find a running back, a bet out there. There is a tight end. Tight ends are hard. And again, I said this last week because when I was mentioning that we needed possibly to draft a tight end, people were like, oh, we have Breeland, Eli Wolf. And I said, well, Eli Wolf got passed by every guy that was on the street last year because Eli Wolf was healthy. And anybody they had a TE next to their name, they were like, you not only got to touch the practice squad, go start, right? In the case of Breeland, he was out all year. And Breeland is a athletic tight end, but had a nasty injury. So we will see.
Yeah.
Let me go take this callers here real quick.
All right.
No, not that one. Not that one. Sorry. Okay, can you hear the sound?
No.
I cannot.
Hello? Okay, hold on, because these guys cannot hear you. And this happened last time, and I got pissed. I got extremely mad. Microphone. Why will you do this to me live?
Real quick, make sure you guys hit that like button for sure. And also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my guy Sonny's channel.
Oh, and by the way, while I fix this, you can guys plug your channels. Go plug your channels while I do this shit.
Oh, well, all right then. Well,
Yeah.
you can also, if you want to tune into the Purple Rain podcast, which is hosted by me and my boy Simply AS10. Every Monday and Thursday, we go live at 7 or 8 o'clock. Tonight, we go live at 8 o'clock. So if you're not doing anything, you want to talk some more Ravens / NFL football, you can come through that. But yeah, I'm Sutton Def. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, like you see right down below.
Okay.
And
And
it's
David?
definitely worth it. They got a great podcast.
Thank you.
As far as my stuff, at David, the sports and gamer nerd, I discuss mostly Ravens, but I also do some Washington Capitals, as well as some video games and just like nerd culture. My hashtag is David SGN. You can kind of see it on my
Okay, yeah.
hoodie here. That's my doggy, my pug. He's my logo. So
And the link for both of these channels are in the description below. Okay, so let me see this. Dimitri, are you there?
Test.
Can you hear it? Do you hear them?
yeah, we hear him.
Yo, I can
No.
hear him. Yep.
You cannot hear them though, right?
No.
I can hear.
Perfect. But you can start doing the question while I fix this so you can hear them. Okay.
All right. So here's one thing I wanted to say about the edge rushers or the pass rushers. For some reason, it feels like during the Eric DeCosta era, our pass rushing has been non-existent. Really, we haven't really done rushing the quarterback. It's either, I don't know if they don't draft the.
Oop, I think we lost him.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think about that?
So what he was saying was, because I'm sorry, as I'm pulling this, you guys lost him. But what he was saying is that in the Eric DeCosta era, we haven't been able to draft a even decent pass rusher. Will you agree with the word decent, Dimitri?
Yes,
Yeah,
pretty much.
even
I mean, Ferguson was the last one that I remember, and I mean, we can pretty much consider him a bust at this point.
okay, so not even so yeah, so we haven't drafted anybody good in the Eric DeCosta era for the pass rushing side. So essentially, do you have faith that he will draft anybody good for the pass rushing side?
So can we agree that, I mean, Ferguson is pretty much a bust at this point?
And he's also
we haven't
asked.
really drafted.
Well, you hear him, right?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear him now. Yeah.
So
Yes,
here's
we
what I
can
think.
consider pretty much Ferguson being a bust, and Eric DeCosta's era, we haven't really drafted any good pass rushers.
So
Okay.
here's what I said. I don't know about
I can't hear them.
a
Yeah,
bust yet.
Dimitri, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start playing with this so you can hear them. But if not, you can listen on the other side. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, David. Sorry.
Dimitri, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start playing with this.
No echo. Go ahead.
Okay, so part of the problem, correct me if I'm wrong, part of the problem with pass rush, so there's three positions, right? There's quarterback, there's offensive lineman, particularly left tackle, and then there's pass rush. And these positions typically go, I would say, in the top 7 picks of the draft. And then once you get, especially like pass rush, once you get beyond like the top, I don't know, 3 or 4 guys, maybe 5 guys, there's a drop off in pass rush, and the next best guy might be like a 2nd round pick. So what you got with the Ravens, the reason why we haven't really drafted a pass rusher since Terrell Suggs is because we've been a good team.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. You're not going to get, chances are, unless you get lucky and get one of those like freak show situations where you get like a Tom Brady type in like later rounds or something. But like chances are you're not going to get a sure thing pass rusher picking consistently in the late 20s,
Yeah.
Like you're just not. Like those guys don't stay around past, like I would say top 10. If there's an elite pass rusher in the draft that's like been identified as like plug and play, sure thing, top guy, like he's gone like in the first 5 or 6 picks.
Yeah.
Every year, guaranteed no matter what. Say like quarterback, left tackle, and pass rush. Those are the positions. Outside of that, you might be able to get, I would say like the 5th best corner or the 4th or 5th best receiver or something like that, maybe in the 20s. But you're not going to get a pass rusher unless you suck. I mean, think about like, I'm not saying like free agency, but think about the drafted pass rushers, right, guys? Like, who drafted them? Was it good teams or bad teams? You don't see the Patriots drafting Myles Garrett. You don't see the Ravens being able to get like Ndamukong Suh when he came out. Like these defensive linemen, these pass rushers.
I agree. I mean, the 49ers had to be bad for many years to be able to draft all those defensive linemen to be good on the pass rushing area.
So you either got, and then here's the other thing what we always did. What did Ozzie always do? What did Eric Costa always do? Eric's a little better about it, but Ozzie for years spent the cap. So you either got to suck and draft at the top of the draft, or once their rookie deals are up, you got to back up the Brinks truck and spend $90-100 million to get these top guys. That's why, since Suggs, we haven't drafted those. We haven't had those guys.
All right, Sonny, I know you're having technical difficulties, so I'll just ask one more question or give us a little statement, and you can relate it to them if they can't hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you. David, can you hear them,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I can hear 'em.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my last statement is, and then I want to hear your thoughts. I'll hang up after this. Here's my dream scenario, which is probably unlikely, or it could be likely. Since Orlando Brown doesn't want to play at the position that we plugged him for, my dream scenario is to have him traded in the first round to get a higher first round pick, and then draft a bona fide wide receiver, and then probably either an O lineman, a tackle, probably the same thing, or if there are all the good ones already gone and there's no good ones left for the first round, draft a nice tight end. And on this, I'm going to hang up and I'll listen to the stream for the response.
Appreciate it, man. Go ahead, guys.
All right, later, but.
I mean, yeah, I mean that sounds really good. It really all depends on who we would be trading with to get lower in that first round. Like, how low are we going to get in the draft? Because if you look at the receivers that are available, you're pretty much looking at Jamar Chase is like the highest rated one. And then after that, if you're looking to see, maybe we get anywhere between picks 8 and 17, let's say. The receivers that are projected to go in that range sort of is what I think. The main one is Jalen Waddle. And Jalen Waddle, he's not necessarily like, especially when it comes to like a build, he's not the type of receiver that the Ravens need. So trading down to get a receiver, probably not in our best interest. Now, trading down to get like an offensive tackle, absolutely. I'd be with that, especially if we still get to keep that 27th pick. But yeah, man, your wish list it's not bad at all. I really like that. I really do like that. But I just don't feel like we'll be able to trade down and get a wide receiver. I don't even think there's any other tight ends other than Kyle Pitts that are, first round talent or anything like that. So yeah. But that's basically my thing with it. Offensive tackle, cool. Wide receiver, probably not realistic.
Okay. How about you, Dave?
I agree 100%. I mean, if we get a top like 10 or whatever. Pick in the draft from a trade. In my opinion, based on our team and our team strengths and what we do, you got to go offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to. We don't need a quarterback. There's no receiver there that is, I would say, talent-wise separated it enough for what we would get at 27. I think like the 8th overall pick, if we pick a receiver there versus picking at 27 to get a receiver, I don't think the spread in talent is justifying itself enough.
Right.
To do that. So I think we got to go offensive lineman. Just there's certain, because of the philosophy of our team, I feel like offensive linemen should be a priority pretty much in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Every single year, just like tight end.
Exactly. The style of football that we play, and this is any style of football, but you have to win in the trenches if you're the Ravens offense. That's where it starts. That's where it finishes every play. So I agree. Absolutely. Offensive tackle is huge need.
Yeah.
And center.
Followed by tight end, I would say. Every year we need to be drafting those positions in the top 3 rounds.
Agree.
Regardless of what's going on. At least one of the two.
Okay, so I think the technical difficulties were solved. So shout out to as well, your Sonny. It's been a long time. I had them at chickens. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the donation. Look, let me also add to the discussion you were saying. Man, look, I would love to be drafting in the top 10 via a trade. And what you guys said about the pass rusher, you are correct. It's the reason you cannot get an instantaneously day one or a Pro Bowler pass rush.
Yeah.
But We have to make some move. And unfortunately, I don't know if this is draft. The only player right now that I think is worth for us trading up, if he slides, which I doubt it, is Kyle Pitt.
Oh yeah.
He is a monster. He is that receiver that you need, right? I don't even know if he should be a tight end. I think he should be just a receiver. But
That's a grown man, yeah.
yeah, but this is not the year that, like, previous year, like, oh, if you try to trade in the top 10, you might be able to get this edge rusher. This is not the year. This is just not the year. Anyway, let me go get the other. Until when do I have you guys here, or do you need to go?
I probably do need to go ahead and get out of here. I know we're about to start up the. I gotta finish prepping for the stream tonight for Purple Rain.
I got you. Well, shout out to you. Thank you for joining the stream, man. And let them know again where they can find you.
No, Sonny, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for having me on again. I always love coming on the SCG Sports channel. But I am Sutton Def. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, exactly how it is spelled right beneath me here. And I am the host of the Purple Rain podcast. Me, along with my co-host Simply AS10. Some of you guys might have heard of him. Highlight Channel God. He's really good. But make sure if you guys want to check out some more Ravens content, NFL content, actually talk a little bit of MMA, UFC. Alex is going to start talking soccer on the channel as well. So if you're into that, definitely come through. Purple Rain Podcast on YouTube. You can pretty much find us anywhere.
Hey, David, are you also...
I can do one more call.
Okay. Well, take care, Sutton. See you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry.
Right.
Take care, buddy.
Okay, so let me do the next call here, and it should be fixed. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear the ring. Yes, I'm moving things live. You can hear the ring, David, right?
I can hear the ring, but the screen is frozen.
Okay. Hello, Jimmy.
What's going on?
Hey, David, can you talk?
I can hear it, but my screen is frozen.
You're not frozen. Jimmy, can you hear David?
I can.
Okay,
Beautiful.
let's do it.
Beautiful. Okay, good. Thank you, man. Shout out to you. Thank you for your patience. So I think it's your first time calling. Awesome, man. Welcome. So what call or what question do you have in mind?
So I just wanted to bring up the issue that I see with trading OBJ, especially for a first round pick. The biggest issue is that there are 4 to 5 tackles that'll be drafted in the first round. That's how most people have them ranked, like 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a GM, I'm not trading first round pick for OBJ when there's solid first round talent tackles available, right?
Okay.
And if I'm the Ravens, I'm not trading OBJ until I have his replacement in hand. I'm not trading him with the hope that, okay, with my third round pick, I should be able to draft a tackle. You know what I mean? So you guys help me understand how you see us being able to trade OBJ, get a good get his replacement,
Yep.
and also the ability to have a GM take that trade,
Yep.
knowing that this draft is full of tackles.
Yep. So a couple things here. The problem with this trade with Orlando Brown Jr. looks to be the compensation to Orlando Brown Jr. That's the rumor, not necessarily the trade value that the Ravens are gonna get. Looks like Orlando Brown Jr. wants a contract as soon as he gets traded, and some of the teams are not super eager to do that. Okay, saying that, our rookie is still a rookie, not proven. How many players we had, not we, but teams have been drafting top 5 and bust. We're not talking about a 30-year-old tackle. We're talking about 24-year-old tackle. Also, you take the Oregon guy, Panay, move him to the side. But Slater, a guy that I love, I don't know if he can be a tackle in the league. He might be more of a guard. If you take the Virginia Tech guy, he's good, but he's still a little raw. If you take the guy from USC, Vera Tucker, he's also projected more as a guard. And when you still start dissecting all this, Panay is the only true guy that could be a left tackle, looks like. Slater, a guy that I love, but there's question. And after that, there's a lot of question. Possible first round. There's more right tackles, in my opinion, than left tackle. So if you need a left tackle, Orlando Brown is your guy. Maybe not over Penei, because Penei is going to be cheaper for 5 years. But even though Orlando Brown is proving, and Penei can bust, he can still bust. So that is why a team can definitely make a trade for Orlando Brown Jr. David, what are your thoughts?
I agree 100%. It's all about experience. Orlando Brown is still young, but he's young experience. And like they said, the biggest thing, I heard the same thing, is the Ravens have received what they would want for him. The biggest problem is Orlando getting his money. He wants to get paid. So, outside of that, I think, you want that young. It's very rare to have young and experience, right? That's the ideal situation. So Orlando Brown just gives you, especially when you think about a quarterback and the amount of money you got to invest in a quarterback, like you want your left tackle to be a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
And these rookies aren't guarantees. Orlando Brown is more of a guarantee, which is why you talk about GMs taking the deal. Obviously, like we just said, there's already GMs out there who've made offers. So I don't think taking the deal is a problem.
I wish Orlando Brown, if his money deal's not out there, I will hope what he should do is like, well, if Team X, whatever the Team X is, it's really gonna play me in left tackle, which is what he wants. I'm not gonna ask for money, because if I pull out, I'm free agent next year. So you're gonna have to drag me and pay me. So because if he stays with the Ravens, in reality, he's gonna get kicked back as a right tackle. The probabilities are high, or at some point during the season. So if he really wants to show that he can be a left tackle, I think what he should do is accept the trade, get the money if the money's not what he wants, and go show them that he can be a Pro Bowl left tackle. And once he shows them, the money will come. I think that's what Orlando should do. But you will know better than that.
1 year prove-it deal.
Yeah. I mean, and then next year you come in and you get paid big money.
Yep.
Any more questions, Jimmy?
Yeah. I want to get you guys' take on the comp pick thing, right? So, in my opinion, I believe that the Ravens have used the comp pick to the best of their ability, to better anybody in the league. It provides a lot of depth on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're totally against we're totally opposite of the Rams, the teams that got like 5 premier players and the rest of the players are, we got solid players all across the roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe a lot of that is through the comp picks. Are you guys against holding off on signing the edge guy to preserve comp picks?
You can take that one, David, first if you want.
So for me, guys, it's about winning the Super Bowl. All I know is that, Tampa Bay won, Patriots won, Kansas City Chiefs won recently. We've only gotten 2 Super Bowls really since 2000. It's nice to have depth. It's nice to have all that stuff, but I'd rather have Lombardi trophies. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
The goal at the end of the day is to win the Super Bowl, not to have the prettiest roster.
And that is a completely fair statement. Look, I love comp picks. I will be one of the first to tell you, like, I sometimes am reluctant because I really want that comp pick. But this year specifically, your edge rush position is dry. Like, you basically have no one. Who's your edge rusher, right? So saying that, I mean, we have Bowser, but other than Bowser, you had nobody. So saying that, my opinion, they at least buy a bullet on one and bring whoever you think is the best: Houston, Kerrigan, Clowney, Ingram. And then they should get another one. Ingram has had no noise. So maybe you can bring Ingram right now and say, like, hey, dude, we can give you this deal. As soon as the draft's over, I'm going to sign you, and you're going to be part of the roster. And bring 2 veterans, and if you want to draft a guy, then you put him behind them and let him learn. I think a guy like Kerrigan as well. I think with Kerrigan has been all his life in DC. So DC obviously is set on the edges. So bringing a guy like Kerrigan, you can theory say, hey, you can keep your house. You're just down the road, right? And he might be able to do that. And you have our D line is going to be old. If you take for edge rushers all the way to our D line is old. Your backup D linemen are a little bit younger, but we need to draft interior D linemen, right? Because think about you have my rookie after that Washington. I was not a big fan of that pick, and last year he did nothing. It's the reason why you brought Jelly. Your outside backers, if you get either of these guys are going to be older players. And then you have Bowser that's a little bit younger. We'll see what happens with Ferguson. So definitely you have to bring a couple of D linemen. But yeah, this is a year that I think you bite the bullet and at least burn one of them. And again, I've been big on just getting 2 or 3 of these guys. Any other thing?
Yeah, one more thing. The pass rusher thing being an issue. So I'm along the lines of pass rusher not being big for the Ravens. I think edge rusher. I'm not against pass rusher. Edge rusher. I think Wink schemes up more pressure than anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you can stop the run and be versatile and smart to do all the things he wants you to do, I think you're fine at edge. You don't have to be the premier edge rusher. You have to be solid and be able to stop the run. So in my opinion, I don't think edge, other than depth, is that big of a deal. What say you?
I mean, I think the problem is you're putting a lot of pressure. You're basically scheming pressure with blitzes, right? And that works for 3/4 of the teams. And then when we were in the Chiefs, I remember all my Twitter going crazy, like, why we keep blitzing Mahomes? Okay, then you saw that we stopped blitzing Mahomes, and now Mahomes was sitting there just chilling. Oh, that's my dude. Boom, right? So if you can generate pressure without blitzing, that's the ideal. But now Wink hasn't had the ability to do that, so he does it for blitzes. And like I said, that works for 3/4 of the league. But when you get to the other quarter of the league, which is the ones that put you over the top, it doesn't work as well. And that's where we start getting in problem. That's when our deep, because the corners are holding. It's not like the corners are not doing their job. It's just Mahomes just sitting there, right? That dude is covered. That dude is covered. But that dude is covered for now. He will eventually be open. And then you find holes in the defense. So essentially, what I think, guys, is I think you need better rushers, because if for some reason the Ravens could generate a rush with 4 or 5, it's game over for the other team. David, your thoughts?
Like I said, guys, for me, it's about winning a Super Bowl. And all I know is that the best offensive lines of the past couple of years, even more than pass rushers, the best offensive lines have pretty much won the Super Bowl every year. They got the penalty calls in their favor because they're offense. And offensive line trumps pass rusher, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, the goal is not to have, we got 20 sacks this year. The goal is to raise the Lombardi trophy.
Fair.
Period. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the goal. And so whatever we got to do to get there, if we lack it on pass rush, let's make it up on offensive line. If we lack it at wide receiver, let's make it up at running back. But the bottom line is, let's raise the Lombardi trophy.
Okay.
I got to run. But I'm at David, Sports and Gamer Nerd. Thanks for having me on. I love your channel, and SCG Sports is awesome. And let's talk soon, buddy.
Take care, brother.
All right, take care.
By the way, it's the description below his channel. Jamie, anything else, bro?
Nah, that's all I had, man. Is your Cash App in your description?
Is my what?
Cash App in your description.
No, I don't have Cash App. If you want to donate, you can do it through a super chat, and I'll appreciate it. But if not, just a like, share my content. That's That's perfectly fine, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Okay, let's go with the last caller, guys. And like I said, I'm thinking about day 2 of the draft. We're gonna do it here. We're gonna do it here. Raven said he will pop up. Joe Nubo's coming. I'm gonna try to talk to Coach Evan to see if he wants to come. And then I'm thinking about having calls, almost like a radio show, a live radio show throughout the draft. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, Jacob, how you doing, bro?
Good, what's good, man? How you been?
Hey, man, you know, we're doing it. We're doing this thing. Shout out to you, man. Your second time caller, right?
Yeah, it's my second time.
Hey, man. How you been?
I've been fine. So I was like the other day, I was looking at like the draft, and I've just been like looking at like a few mocks, and I realized I think somewhere in the draft, a stud or like some guy that's thinking they're going like the mid round is going to fall to us, and I think we're going to snag him up. What are your thoughts on that? Any guys you'd be eyeing that like if they fell, we'd take them right away?
Yes. So I think, look, I'm praying for all these 5 quarterbacks to go above us.
Yeah, not.
And that helps the Ravens. I haven't scouted. I haven't done any deep scouting in quarterback because why would I do that? But I would say I've watched Aaron Lawrence play. I think he's good. I think people talk to him like he's the second coming of Jesus. I don't know if he's that good at this moment. He might. I'm not super high on on the kid from Ohio State, Fields. Yeah. But I think he should definitely be a top 10 pick. I think he will be beneficial if he sits down. The kid from BYU, I have not seen him play at all. So for me, he's a black box, but sure. Same thing with Lance. Haven't seen him play at all. But the other thing is the guy from Bama. I don't understand why people think he should be the 3rd overall pick. But if they want to do it, go ahead. It's not my team. You do it. No, saying that is great for the Ravens. All these 5 guys go out. I think a position that might slide, guys, actually is wide receiver. Because people are talking like, oh, there's all this depth. So let me just get my player X now, and then let me get my receiver later. Tackles might go, like I'm watching the draft, the mocks, some of the mocks, and I'm seeing guys that they say they're tackles, but they're really inside guys, right? They're more interior guys. And it's because the league is desperate for O-line. If we trade Orlando Brown and we have a 1st-round pick, sure, get that guy. But if we don't trade him and we say, whatever, we're going to keep him, then you don't need that guy this year. So what you can do is that tackles might go. And then a guy like Bateman could be there. Terrence Marshall's going to be there. I'm pretty sure Marshall will be there. Yeah. Bateman, I like Bateman more. I love his hands. He has aggressive hands. I love him. From the edge rusher class, as I said earlier, I had nothing. I haven't seen one that I'm like, ooh, I would like for the Ravens to draft him. I know some of you guys have been talking about Paye from Michigan. I need to check him out. I haven't done a deep scout, so I will just be blabbing something that I don't know. But from Ohalari, from Rousseau, Phillips, none of these guys for me are.
Like Phillips?
I'm sorry?
You didn't like Phillips?
I don't think he's a 1st-round pick. I think he is the more polished of them. I don't think he's a 1st-round pick. Their concussion history scares me to death for a 1st-round pick. He retired a year before because of concussion problems. I don't like that.
But he's definitely the most polished, though.
He is the most polished, but in a deep/good pass rushing class, he's a 2nd-round pick. He should be a 2nd-round pick. And with the injury history, definitely should be a 2nd-round pick. When the guy had to retire for concussion problems, that should scare everybody. So doing a 1st-round pick from a guy that, we've seen this story before in the NFL, and then they can't play because of concussions, right? We're talking about a grown man. They're going to be hitting him in the O-line. So it scares me. For sure scares me, Phillips. Rousseau is super raw. And when I was watching his film, I thought he was way better rushing from the inside than the outside. He's 6'8", or 6'7".
He's a D.
I'm sorry?
He's not an outside linebacker.
So at least when I was watching his film, I'm not saying that he cannot be, but I think if Rousseau will be here, let's say the Ravens draft him in the second round, what I would do is like, yo, just put some LBs. I think you can be the next Calais Campbell if you put LBs, because you definitely rush better from the inside. Like when I was watching his film on the outside, I was not impressed. But when he moved a little bit in, he was fairly good. The problem is he's too light for the inside right now. He definitely needs to put LBs. And this is with the caveat, guys. I have watched no pro days because I think all those numbers are mostly made up. You know, we can see Boykins running out 4.4 in shorts, but when he doesn't play like that. So I've been watching film. Well, you guys have been saying like, hey guys, Payson, you can look for this dude, or when you DM me and I put him in my list. I'm right now obsessed with the edge rushing class because I'm just baffled of how all these dudes are being considered in the first round. I would lose my shit. I'm not gonna lie. If we draft one of these in the first round, I'm hoping if we draft one, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's gonna happen. If that linebacker from Notre Dame falls to us, Jeremiah Oweh, I think we snag him up.
He's more of a middle linebacker, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or he plays in like the slot. He plays like a slot corner, kind of, to be honest.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is essentially like PQ. Like, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm okay with that if it's BPA. If it is somebody they have ranked below him that is in a position in need, I will take that. For example, another guy that I love is the safety at TCU. I did a video of him. Moring, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah. I love him because he looks to me like a true safety. And my video, I said, like, I doubt that we get him, but I like him a lot. And if he's there at 27, what I'll be mad. Well, I'm a guy that prefers defense over offense, so I won't. This is why the whole edge rushers upset me a lot. But yeah, JOK is. I mean, I watched very little, but it's a position that at that point now you essentially are what the Cowboys thought they had with the kid from Boise and Smith, but the guy from Boise has been hammered with injuries and neck injuries.
Leighton Vander Esch?
Vander Esch, yes, thank you. Vander Esch has been crazy injury prone. I was just sad he was playing good, and Smith has taken a step back. But essentially, that 1 year when they were really good and the Cowboys were really good, that's essentially what you can do with JOK and PQ. But also that guarantees that Harrison basically doesn't have a position in this team. Which is, I mean, I'm not saying that you don't draft a guy because of that. I'm just saying. But yeah, a guy might fall to us. I'm hoping is Bateman. As right now, that's the guy because I think Bateman should be drafted in the mid first. But I'm hoping he slides a little bit.
Oh, Julian Edelman just retired, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I think Julian Edelman just retired.
Yeah, he did. I just saw it came to the wire. I thought when they cut him, I saw like, okay, well, he's going to Tampa, but no, he retired. I mean, good for him. I think his body was breaking on him. So yeah, shout out to Edelman. I hate him when he played us, but actually, last couple of years he's been good to us. Been dropping a couple balls, fumble here and there. Not bad.
Oh, fumble against Marlowe.
Yeah.
And then I guess going off the draft, what are your thoughts on like taking center in the first round? Because there really isn't a lot of center depth from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the two main centers should be in the second. And if you're scared because one of them has gone, you can definitely go up and get him. I will default in this. I like both the Alabama center and the Oklahoma. And when I did the Alabama center video, he looked really good. Like the only problem that I had with him is what? Injury history.
Injuries.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And there's knee injuries. And they're bending those knees a lot. So That would be only my scare. So when I say I default with this to the team should know, is Macari really the answer center? Macari wasn't horrible. Now he pissed me off in that game against the Bills, but he wasn't horrible. TCC, Tristan Colon Castillo, he was fairly good against the Steelers, but are they ready to commit to him, or are they ready to let them battle? Those are the questions. Will I be upset? No. If they go and get a guy like Creed Humphrey. No, I'm okay with Creed Humphrey. Well, if they go and get the other center from Bama, I'll be great with him too. But if they don't, I'm not panicking yet, because if they don't, my assumption is they think either Macari or Tristan can, be ready. Like for me, if you tell me what is your top three, what would you prefer? Well, receiver, edge in the second or third. Tight end, I'll be good if they find one of the good tight ends. I think those are the positions that I would prefer. And if they trade Orlando Brown, tackle.
Tackle's got to be first priority.
Yeah, if they trade Orlando Brown, tackle. If they don't trade Orlando Brown because they're like, okay, Orlando, because apparently there's deals already in the table, but Orlando doesn't want to take him because of the money. I mean, this is just what they're saying. I have no interior sources. So they can go to Orlando and say, well, you come back, right tackle, next year, you go get paid, whatever. So if you do that, then you don't have to draft that guy this year. You can say, well, next year, obviously, right tackle will be one of the main keys, or maybe then you get Phillips behind Orlando, learn the position a little bit more, and then in year 3 he can be ready for to start.
Yeah, I mean, I just see, I guess, with center, I mean, in the first round, it's like, I think the Ravens really always find centers, like undrafted guys. I mean, when was the last time we drafted a center early? I can't remember.
Our best center that we had lately was a guy that we drafted. We drafted him, if I'm not mistaken, 4th or 5th round. It was Jensen, Big Red. He was great for us. Yeah, I don't think he started year 1, but he started year 2, 3, and 4. And he got the biggest center contract once he was a free agent, and he went to Tampa. But he was really good to us. And that was the last center that we drafted. Skura was undrafted. Macari was undrafted. And Skura was the one that took it over from Jensen. If I'm not mistaken, there was nobody that the bridge between those two.
I love Skura, though, because he can also play guard, and he's really versatile.
Well, that's what Macari is, too.
Right? That's what I meant to say, Macari, not Skura.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of Macari. I'm sorry, Skura. Now I'm confusing. I was never a big fan of Skura. I like Macari. Again, he pissed me off in the last game. Not a big fan of Bozeman, but we have like 20 guards behind him, so one of them can replace Bozeman. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is, if we keep Orlando Brown, can Philip Lynn develop, and then next year you might not even have to draft a right tackle, right? Because you might have it in-house. If we trade Orlando Brown Jr., I don't think Phillips is ready. He is I'm gonna keep saying that he's definitely a better tackle than he's a guard. As a guard, he's trash. He can't play guard. As a tackle, he was better, but he's not consistent. Now,
are you talking about Phillips?
Yeah. Now Lamar helps a lot because he moves a lot, but I would like a better tackle.
Hey man, Phillips can run with the ball.
He can run. No, he looked pretty when he carried that ball. He definitely can. He looked pretty.
But we ain't putting him in like that.
No, hell no. Hell no. I was scared. I thought he was going to fumble. I'm not going to lie. When he picked that ball out, I was like, this dude is going to fumble it. But he had the technique. He cradled that ball. He did good. Any other question, bro?
Yeah, one more.
Go ahead.
A few. So I guess if we were to trade Orlando Brown, I have thoughts on the Kevin Jenkins, the guy out of Oklahoma State.
I mean, it goes back to what do they think they have? I haven't done a deep dive on Jenkins. So I haven't done, to give you a clear choice. Now, I do have a dream scenario that is highly unlikely. And is if the Ravens trade Orlando Brown for a high let's say mid first, right?
Mhm.
Let's say 15. I don't even know right now who's 15. Let's say 15 or 12. I would love. This is Sunny's dream scenario, guys. I'm not endorsed. I mean, I'll do flips if it happens.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Trade your pick 15 or 12 or whatever, and trade also your pick 27 or 26 or wherever the hell we have, and go get Cal Pitts if he slides a little bit after like this pick 7. Go get Cal Pitts, and you don't have to make him a tight end. Make him an outside receiver because I think he's an outside receiver. I said this when I was talking about Pat Fairmouth. I think he said last. Yeah, I said that I think Pat right now is my favorite tight end because I don't think Cal Pitt is a tight end. I think Cal Pitt should be an outside receiver. He essentially should be Megatron. And my God, Lamar can just throw it high to this dude. You go trade those two and get Cal Pitt. You know. And that would be spectacular. And you have your superstar son. He's going to buy his jersey. And that should be that. That would be my dream scenario for the first round. Highly unlikely. But you still then have your second and third. But yeah, that would be spectacular for this offense. I love Bateman, but Bateman is 6 foot. I want a bigger receiver.
If they draft Kyle Pitts, I'm running to buy his jersey.
Hey, I might streak in the streets here of UK. You might see me arrested in the UK something. So,
yeah, man. I guess quickly. Also, thoughts on Terrence Marshall.
Okay.
Did you make a video on him?
Yes, I did make. I made a video of him. You can go check it out. But Marshall, I like a lot. He's definitely late first. I like Bateman more. Like if Bateman had the size of Marshall, that would be spectacular. But the thing with Bateman is Bateman plays big. Marshall is very good. I had to go back and watch 2019 because in 2020 he played a lot in the slot. And I don't want to see him in the slot for the Ravens. I mean, we had to make slots guy. So I went back the 2019, and in 2019 he wasn't a loaded team, right? Think about he had Justin Jefferson, he had Chase, and him. And I was like, okay, let me see. I mean, obviously he's not gonna get targeted as much, but he was impressive. And he can high point the ball. And one of the big things for me in receivers is I didn't see that many balls coming to his chest. So he doesn't have that bad habit, right? Our guy, Hollywood Brown, has that bad habit, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, because look, Humphrey has made a living of just letting people get that ball to the chest and just punch it out. I'm not talking about fumbles, just as an incompletion. So saying that, he doesn't let that, and he can high point the ball, and he's good in the outside. And he is also the type of receiver that we need. Like, obviously, Kyle Pitt is a dream, but Marshall could be one. Marshall definitely could be one. The only concern that I have with Marshall was some of the drops that he had in 2020. And those drops also were drops that you can see Hollywood doing, is trying to make the play without the ball getting there. So he looks away as the ball's coming because it's a secure catch, and he drops it. If he cleans that up, I think he is definitely a late first round. He can be like T. Higgins for us, what T. Higgins was for
the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah. And that's the type of receiver you need. That big body receiver. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to put this up. He has speed. I don't know what he ran, but he doesn't play slow, right? There's receivers that might run fast in the 40 but play slow. This dude does not play slow. I like everything that I see. I like Bateman a little bit more. I don't know how Bateman ran. I think Marshall looks faster than Bateman. Bateman looks more agile, but Bateman's hands, I love it because those balls just like get glued to him. But I also have to say that Marshall's size is more enticing for the Ravens because right now you go to the red zone. If you have Hollywood on an island, you can't really throw it to Hollywood. He will have to just juke the guy to the floor. In the case of Andrews, you could potentially, but usually if they see Andrews wide, they're going to go with Andrews. So Andrews had to just figure out in the middle of the field. And Boykins, I mean, maybe Boykins hasn't got enough choices, but I cannot depend on him right now. Marshall, in
Yeah.
theory, you can put him in there in the island, and if they do 1-on-1 against Marshall, you throw it high and say either you come up with the ball, it's an incompletion, right? We don't have that guy. We don't.
Yeah, we have it was Wilson. I remember Luke Wilson was 1-on-1 with he was even 1-on-1, he was wide open.
Oh, he was wide open. Yeah, that was the game that Lamar didn't play. Wilson was wide effing. It was a beautiful play called by Roman. He was wide open. The dude from the Steelers got there late, but the ball already reached there, and then Wilson just dropped it. I was so pissed.
I mean, yeah, he caught it with his body.
Yes. See, the receivers, and this is a bad habit. I would say at least half of the receivers have that, even more. You catch, and then you bring back. As you bring him back, you're cradling it. But for some reason, I guess they don't trust hands, so they just wait for it in his body. And then the other thing is, both Marshall and Bateman, they can adjust to the ball. I'm here, guys, and you guys know that I'm completely fair. When I have to critique Lamar, I will do it. Lamar doesn't throw the most accurate ball. And sometimes when they is running on strive, he throws it behind. Both of those guys can make the adjustment and keep going with the ball. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hopefully my boy Keith Williams, T. Martin can coach it out of them.
I'm sorry?
Hopefully Keith can coach like the body catching.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see, I get it why Hollywood does it for the most part. Think about Hollywood is more used to the deep throw, right? And that deep throw, Marshall and Bateman, I've seen reaching out with the hands and catching it. But in a deep throw, usually you crater it, but because you're waiting for it almost like a pot, right? Catch it there. And that's where Hollywood made his money. But we have sometimes we use him a lot in curl routes and all that. And those he's sitting there. And I would like for him to extend the hands away from the body and then bring it down. But he doesn't do that. So he needs to trust his hands a little bit more. I don't think he has bad hands. So just trust his hands more and just keep coming and balling.
Yeah, hopefully we can see that improve. But I mean, that's all I really have.
Okay. Hey, man. Awesome call. Awesome call. Don't be a stranger anytime. We do this every Monday. And thank you for calling.
Yeah, bro. I just gotta start remembering. Like last week, I forgot, but today I checked YouTube. I was like, shoot, he's going live. I gotta
hit that bell. Hit that bell. That way, when I go live, it will let you know. It will give you a pop up. Okay.
Sounds great, man. Thank you.
Take care, bro.
You too.
Hey, guys, and I know there are some others that you want to call. I might open phone lines earlier next week because I hate leaving people that wanted to call the show. But we're going here for over an hour and a half. I might have to do 2 shows. As maybe the week before the draft, I'll do one on Monday, one on Thursday, okay? But anyway, guys, it's been fun. It's been awesome. Don't forget to like the video, share this video with people. Also share my channel. I appreciate that. If you have subscribe, hit that bell. That way when I go live, when I put a video, about a prospect. This week, if my videos don't get corrupted, a video should be coming up. Thank you for watching. And let me say this before I go. The Kyle Pitts scenario, the only way it can happen is, I'm going to give you how it happens. I'm going to listen how this thing happens. I'm gonna give. Let me go get a draft order, and with this, I'm gonna shut it down. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you how this can happen. Assuming we trade up to pick a number 13. A couple of you said 13, right? Okay, hold on. Where's my draft order? I need a draft order, guys. So all I want is a draft order. Okay, so sorry about that. So pick 4, Atlanta trades it for whoever, and they get a quarterback. And then on 5, the Bengals get Penei Sewell, right? Fair. Though all that could happen. Top 4 quarterback, pick number 5, Penei Sewell for the Bengals. Pick 6, Dolphins. Who they get? my dude Chase, right? Or no, Chase. They probably want Chase. And then at 7, that's where you need to call. Now think about this. You have pick 13 and 27. You're moving only 6 spots. You can probably call the Dolphins to say, here's these 2 first-round picks for pick 6. But assuming the Dolphins wants to pick the top receiver, you can definitely say, here's pick 13, here's pick 27 for pick 7. Okay? I think that's actually a little rich. For pick 7, moving 6 spots, giving another first-round pick, you might even get away with giving you your second-round pick or giving them the first and getting their second. Okay, flipping. But that's how it can happen. All you have, essentially, if you trade Orlando Brown for pick 13 around there, is the first 4 quarterbacks, definitely a possibility. Number 5, Panay. So I hear that the Bengals also want Chase. And then, in theory, you can call Miami and say, here's another first-round pick. Or if Miami doesn't draft them because they want Waddle or Smith for Tua, then you go get Pitt with pick number 7 because the Lions want more picks. That's the reality. Or if the Lions, because the Lions said also they might take a quarterback. Let's say the Lions take a quarterback, right? Let's say the Lions take a quarterback. Then who pick 8? Now you have Carolina. And you can say, Carolina, I'm going to give you 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. You can get that O-line. You can get another player. It's definitely a possibility. The only way it can happen is if the Ravens trade Orlando Brown to, pick 13, pick 14, one of those, right? And essentially, that's a good trade. You're giving them 2 first-round picks to move 7 or 8 spots. I think it could happen. Highly unlikely. But I think it can happen. The trade scenario is definitely a possibility. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. Again, don't forget to hit that like. We'll see you next time. Peace out.